to the house. They have no warrant. They have nothing.
Sleep, right? Hello? Come. EFCC is here with some gunmen that have broken all my bulletproof doors. And the landlord hitting now. They just want to, I don't know what they want to do. This is my last appearance. I tell you, I don't know what they probably can hear the noise behind. They are going to come and shoot. And so,
Is there anybody out there that can call for help?
Can you tell Uche to share the
Please let them call for help. The EFCC is currently trying to break in. They don't have any warrant of arrest. The lawyers had asked them for warrant of arrest. They don't have, so they are trying to break into the house now. If you're there, please call for help. Pop.
See, the whole family is on the floor. The whole family.
No.
how they are coming to carry somebody without any documents. Good evening, everyone. Maze is okay. Speaking to us this evening. May I know where you are watching me from? And I want to say thank you very much for joining me this evening. I am still Maze okay, and I do believe that you can hear me loud and clear. Maze okay, still the dotted one, the unapologetically dotted. Who doesn't like me being dotted?
ensure that there is a transformer without any fence near your vicinity, and you can go there and do justice. Now, there is a lot happening, people. There is a lot happening today. Today, we have seen the EFCC gone into Okorocha's house almost since around 12 o'clock. They have been trying to get entrance or gain entrance into Okorocha's house, but they've been unable to do that. As you saw from this video that I just played now, you can obviously see that there is something amiss here, to the point that the EFCC has to go through the ceiling. If you didn't pay attention, once more, watch it again. The EFCC had to go through the ceiling in order to, I mean, that's, through the POP. They had to break the POP to gain access into that. That is what I call criminality squared, using criminality to fight criminals. Allegedly here, because the reason here is that they say that Okorocha is wanted. Okorocha says that the reason why they are after him is because of the APC screening. So it is his words against theirs. Now, what I do not understand is what happens to warrant of arrest. I thought for some reason that we should have warrant of arrest if you want to arrest someone. But why is it that suddenly, people may get angry when they say, when some people begin to call Nigeria a three-letter word that starts with Z. And some people may get upset, but these are some of these things that when you see them and when you watch them, you may, tend to say that this is absolutely nothing like Animal Kingdom. That's what it is. Earlier today, in Nigeria, when you are a man of means, people do engage in a lot of nonsense, and you have the pauperized public to also aid you in some of such nonsense. Earlier today, there was a protest. The protest was during the attempted arrest that that EFCC had engaged in, and people were protesting to a point that gunshots were fired, and I thought to myself, that is absolutely going insane. Gunshots were fired. Let me see if I can quickly find the video. That's it. That should be EFCC firing some shots at Okorocha's residence. Let's look at it. While we are analyzing this, trying to make sense out of what I consider senselessness. Now, even when I will show us the Okorocha's interview. While I do agree that anyone who has stolen our money collectively as a state, as a great Igbo, anyone who has commingled our money must pay back that money because it is our collective money. However, in doing that, by the virtue of how EFCC does its job, they must also follow the due process and they must also follow the law, because the law, honestly, it does not make sense. If you accuse someone of engaging in illegality, now you are using illegality in order to extract illegality. That does not make sense. Absolutely nonsense. It doesn't make. For me, that's absolute nonsense. So in this case, then one would then ask, why must EFCC engage in such criminal act? I mean, they act like hoodlums. There is no difference between the activities and the actions of EFCC compared to that of hoodlums, or what they call the ungoverned men. You can see at some point people had to converge, and protest ensued. But in order to disperse the people, they had to start shooting sporadically, and people started running. But I don't understand, why is it Nigeria sometimes it gets you headed? Why is it impossible? If this man has done something that warrants that the law should bring him in for questioning, why can't you just go there with the appropriate, you know, legal documents? Why can't you go there with the warrant of arrest, search warrant, whatever it is? You take him away. Question again is, if this is not political, why must you go there the day he's also going for his presidential election screening? Because they all spent 100 billion. 100 billion. Pardon me. Twist of tongue here. 100 million. They all spent 100 million, not billion. Wake up. They all spent 100 million buying form as if they were buying Accra. Some of them, after spending 100 million, a couple of hours later, they discarded it. They say, oh, no, we no longer want to contest. We have someone like the former governor of Anambra State, or some call him the former illegal governor of Anambra State, in the person of Senator Chris Ndige. He discarded his. Some of them, we don't know where Goodluck Jonathan stands today, but some people, the Meeti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, the MACPAN, they bought, a presidential fund for him. If he doesn't contest, it is discarded. A couple of them bought tickets, 100 million. I tell you how many schools 100 million could build in your state, in my state, in your local government. But hey, these guys are businessmen. And here is this individual, this quote unquote, the EFCC wanting to arrest Okorocha. And now you have people converging there. You might think this is a political rally. Imagine where you live in America, for instance. They want to arrest a politician whom they have accused of doing something. Imagine just you're living in America and the FBI appears in front of a house of a former governor. Let me block a state like that. A former governor of Chicago, right? And they want to arrest him. And the Americans will come and be shouting, EFCC, FBI, FBI stop, Governor Wilson, Governor Mazi, you are the greatest, EFCC, go home, this, that. On so many levels, this is so wrong. From the people, from EFCC, from the man himself, because if I believe I fear nothing, and you want to invite me, I know, the former governor of our state, many times have been invited by the EFCC, and there he goes with all the documents. Disappoint. After going to the EFCC, they look like a bunch of idiots because they will be thoroughly disgraced by the virtue of the fact that the man comes there, brings all the documents, and they're looking at it and thinking to themselves, why did we even invite this man? But here, the cameramen, the press, the security agents, EFCC, utter confusion. Can you be trying to arrest someone in England, in Germany, even in Rwanda, and you have people mingling, just going like this? Can something like this happen? I don't know. Sometimes I just look at these things. It just, it gets you. I don't know. But just watch and see what's happening here. Anyway, and now people are now shouting they're firing live bullets, blah blah, yati yati yati, and eventually tear gas was thrown, and the people began to disperse. The people began to run helter skelter. Then you begin to ask yourself, why does it appear that those who, the oppressors have love to defend? No, sorry, the oppressed have love to always defend their oppressors. Again, if I do not have anything to hide, after all, my elders say that he who fetches ant-infested firewood invites the lizard for a feast, because the lizard must come to eat. However, Okorocha then granted an interview to say, people, let me set the record straight. He was able to do that earlier today before eventually the whole thing also got escalated. Let me quickly pull up the interview here, and you listen attentively to what the Okorocha is saying.
And there are policemen and EFCC all over my compound, and my gate is blocked with their car. And all I'm asking for now is that could they please allow me to go for my screening? I have screening going on right now with all the presidential aspirants. My election comes up on Sunday. And if I'm not...
Now, without prejudice, let us be factual, people. If by any chance, I do not expect that Okorocha will win the APC ticket. Far from it. Not one bit. I do not have that confidence that he will. But let's take him by his words. Does it make sense that a country would want to stop a politician from participating in an election by basically instigating the EFCC to go lay siege in his house? I'm no defender of him here, but let's apply common sense. Why didn't EFCC, or did they just wake up today that he was to be screened and realize that suddenly he has a case to answer? Why did they keep quiet all the while? Why is it that they haven't invited him before today? Why must it be done today to give this connotation? Therefore, assuming that this has nothing to do with the primaries or the screening that is happening today, doesn't that then give the connotation that something is amiss? Sometimes, timing of things matters a lot. But I think in this case, I do not know, but I think in this case, if we look at it properly, it appears that something is fishy. Honestly, something is fishy. But, let's go ahead and listen to Okorocha. Let's hear him.
With all the presidential aspirants, my election comes up on Sunday. And if I'm not allowed to go for this screening, I might miss it. I'm not an unknown person. I have address. People know me in Nigeria. All it takes for EFCC to send an invitation, and I'll gladly oblige. But as I speak to you now, I've requested for any arrest warrant, any order of court. None seem to be available. Any invitation, and none have not been invited, and I refuse to go. But my lawyer has addressed them, and they're saying that that the director that had instruction from above to come and get me. So I don't know whether this is an arrest or an invitation. But if it's an invitation, it's simply a letter or a word or phone call, and I'll be there. This barrage of policemen and creating some kind of trauma to members of my family is not the best way to go. I want to kindly appeal to the EFCC to allow me to go for my screening, and whatever the above means, to please allow me to go for my screening and do my election. The EFCC had also said that they're taking me to court, but they took me to court. I'm still waiting for to be served. I've not been served. And I have a series of court orders and judgments right even before I left office because of this emphasis what is happening now. So, quite frankly, the situation is quite ugly, and it doesn't give the best of image to everyone concerned. I think I should be allowed to go for my screening, and if I go for my screening, that'll be good. I won't run away, and I can present myself anytime. I don't know what's the urgency of the matter that I'm able to run away. I assume there's something really. But whatever it is, I'm waiting. I'm told they have remobilized and they will soon forcefully get themselves into my house and possibly my bedroom to whisk me away and to get me arrested. That also, I'm waiting to see what they do with that. Thank you. Thank you. I've not been able to.
Sorry. I read some of our comments. Some of us say that EFCC said he jumped bail. Then I asked, did Okorocha jump bail last night? Then I asked, did Okorocha jump bail early this morning? It makes no sense here. I think when you listen to him, if we detach ourselves from emotions and any sentiment, and if, again, with a very big caveat here, if what he says, or if what he is saying that he was not extended any invitation, verbally, orally, or written, then EFCC is 1,000,000% wrong. This is no, this is not a murder case. It's not like someone has a gun and is about to kill 3 people. Then you need to just swoop in here. What happened to the civility of writing him officially, inviting him? What happens to the civility of placing a call or even a WhatsApp message or even a text message saying we want to see you in the office? This, I don't know. I think EFCC hasn't done right there. I think, jump bail from his house outside Abuja, or sometimes these things doesn't make sense. I'm just trying to take all angles and just basically to make sense out of the senselessness. But be that as it may, the siege is ongoing. Now that I'm looking to us, because I'm not trying to be funny, but I think for some reason Okorocha has suddenly become a broadcaster, because on his official handle, he now broadcasts his ordeal, what is happening to him. He is now the one telling the world, I am here. The rich, they say, also cry. You can hear the person in the other video saying, you can call anyone that you want to call. We are under siege here. Can they come and help us? I'm like, a senator, a former governor, the Owele. Who else can anybody call? Are you going to call Mazi? Mazi, I don't know anybody now. So who else can you call? Or call the local government chairman? It doesn't make sense. So he has all the contacts. He has all the be it in the Senate, anywhere, he has all the contact. Therefore, he has been going live. For the first time, he goes live showing what, okay, the last live he's gone, this the video I shown to us, that's about 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. So we don't know what is currently happening as we speak, if they have taken him or if they are still battling with him. Again, I condemn, I must put that there, I condemn the invasion. If he was not extended any invitation, I condemn the invasion. That is invasion of his own privacy. But if he was extended any invitation and he decided to play big manism, then I say I also condemn him for not attending to any invitation. But again, it's Nigeria. We, you and I, we may never know the truth. Tomorrow, if I invite him now to say, Okorocha, can you come on this platform to tell us what actually happened yesterday? Most likely than not, you will say, they will say, no, we don't want to speak to you because we are, in the words of Buhari, we are Zabigman. Zabigmans. Zabigmans. But it is what it is. That takes us to the next story, which is Dino Melaye. That's going to be a very quick one. Dino Melaye, the one who is articulated, very, very articulated, insulting others who are also contesting the election, or rather the primary. Suddenly, he's done his own primary today, and what happened to him? He fell from the Iroko tree. And did he break his waist? Did he break his waist? I don't know. But I was surprised, I must tell you. I was surprised to read this from him. I was definitely surprised that Dino tweeted the following. Let me quickly read that to us. Let me expand that a little bit. So Dino tweeted the following. The primary has been, see here, the primary has been fought and won. I congratulate Honorable TJ Yusuf and thank all those who voted in the first and second ballot for me. The gang up is unimaginable, but I give praise to God. The gang up is unimaginable, in the words of Dino Melaye. If there could be a gang up against Dino Melaye, what do you think, what type of gang up do you think will be against those leading candidates in some of the political parties in Nigeria? Now, but let's look at what some Nigerians, because some Nigerians started making fun and started poking, having some fun at him. We have Chidebere Nwobodo here who said, breakfast served in the evening. He was busy articulating. Dino said that God told him that Atiku will be the next president, but he forgot to ask God about his own senatorial bid. Some Nigerians are not smiling, even when someone has lost millions. Because I tell you, I heard that the son of former Vice President Namado, is it? Namado, I think. Namadi Sambo, yeah. I heard that his son paid delegates 2.5 million, still lost today. And some of us are saying, oh, it's a new dawn. The delegates collected money and they voted their conscience. I don't think so. Because one thing that people ignored in that report, one thing that many people ignored in that report is not that the people, took money or that they didn't take money. The things people ignored was very simple. The one that won paid about 3.5 million. So I think he paid about 2.5. Someone else paid about 3 million. So someone paid about 3.5. So imagine those delegates have been like out of job for the past 4 years. Suddenly they see this political season as the time for them to extract their own pound of flesh. Therefore, that's why it is very, very hard when people say, oh, delegates, vote your conscience, do this. I'm like, you got to be real. These delegates, they've been saying, I need to change the tires of my car. I need to change oil. I need to change. I mean, the system is, for me, the system is skewed. The system, there must be something better than what we have, because it means that it is only the delegates that can give Nigerians the evils so that Nigerians can select maybe a lesser evil. Without the delegates giving you these people, there is nothing to select from. And people are now taking a mic on Dino Melaye and this Ayo Deji Babsi said, I was expecting a video where you sing, dance and rant. I think you've been taught a good lesson and you are beginning to have some manners. Blame those that advise you to always display your wealth, even in this kind of hunger in the land. Nigeria, the verse, you they show yourself. People believe that you already collected more than enough. What else do you want? Abi, you want to buy another power bike where get 6 legs? It's well. So Nigerians really take. So someone posted a video from Adiola, when he said that God told him. But again, let's listen to Adiola here and also see what
by calling my favorite uncle.
No, go ahead.
How do we know that the terrorists will not attack again? Let me know what you guys in the comment section. Meanwhile, I just want to thank God Almighty, like seriously, for settling this whole election issue before it even happened. By calling my favorite uncle Dino, Uncle Dino, Uncle Boda. The man said that God called him 3 different times, not once, not twice, but 3 different times. He said, Dino, how many times did I call you Emeka? 3 times. Atiku is going to be the next president. Amen. He said that was what happened.
And he called me, said, Dino. And I said, yes, my Lord. He called the second time again, Dino. I said, yes, my Lord. He called the third time, and I said, the Lord speak for the servants. Yeah. And he said, Atiku will be the president of the Republic of Nigeria.
I'm telling you, if God has to call you 3 different times, he said, don't do.
Anyway, so Dino, God called Dino, and some are now saying that maybe that was a missed call, that Dino didn't understand what was inadvertently happening. So Dino probably had a missed call from God. Man, Nigerians are not going to kill somebody. Nigerians are not going to kill somebody. But having said that, now, that's on that. Dino has lost the PDP primaries. It's over. And I do not think that he made the camp. But again, we never know. Now, let me come to something that concerns human life, something that is happening and something that gets me sad. It is nothing but the loss of life within the Southeast. I made a tweet earlier today after having a deep thought on this. Last weekend, or rather before last weekend, a House of Assembly member and his aide both of them were kidnapped, hail from Isofia, that is the hometown of Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. Last weekend, about 8 people were killed in one day between Isofia, the hometown of Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, the vigilante vehicles in Agolo, the hometown of Mr. Peter Obi, the front runner of the of the Southeast, or rather the front runner aspirant in the upcoming presidential election. Between the two distances, whoever who knows Anambra State very well, from Isofia to Agolo, is less than 10 kilometers. So within a 10-kilometer radius, you have 8 people killed in one day. Vigilante vehicles burned. The one that broke me, really broke me, was a woman I think they say her name is Fatima, with 3 children. These children are between the ages of maybe 11 to 1 or thereabouts. Think about 2 of them either 11, 9, then the other one should be about 4, 5, and the little one that was the mother was still carrying about a year, depending, a year or a year plus. Then the woman was pregnant. 5. If you count the baby, assuming that the woman has only single baby in the womb, it could be twins, we don't know. And they were shot dead. You know, when I watched it over the weekend, it couldn't register. It couldn't register. And I said to ourselves, people, if we were outraged and angry that Deborah was killed in Sokoto, and the internet was agog that this happened, everybody condemned it, that this happened, then we must, in the same vein, condemn these barbarism, this evil and wicked act. The identity of the woman in question, what matters to me is that she is a human being like me. She has every right, like me, the right to live. No one has that right to take her life. Then you ask yourself, what is the grand script here? Can we think? What is the grand script here? This happened between Isofia Agolo and that doesn't know. Within a space of 10 kilometer square, is it? It beats me. You know, I used to say that we are a different breed of people, but I'm beginning to doubt it. I used to say that, you know, there is something about us that we don't spill blood. There are things we hold sacred. But what is happening? What is happening? Do we have seers? Do we have prophets? Do we have, I don't know, but we must get a grip on this. It leads me, when we were warning about some of these things, when they were beginning to roll their ugly heads, and I read with sadness, some of my brothers, all they can say is, yeah, intellectual. Intellectual, for some of you who are not Igbo and who may not understand what that means, is a derogatory way of calling somebody an intellectual. But again, as a man of conscience, I must condemn. If I stood to condemn the killing of Bridget Agbeeme in Kano and went to court, a woman I've never met, a family I've never met, but to fight that justice be given to the family for her beheading, and suddenly in my state of Anambra, no matter the provocation, no matter the disagreement, you go and kidnap a sitting house. Honestly, okay, I take the sitting house of assembly, but I take it back. But you go and kidnap a human being, you yank off, sever the head from the body, and go put it on a pole at a Chisco park, at a motor park. I say, God, this is more than Taliban. Who does this? This is more than Taliban. You sever the head from the body. You go put it on a pole. And many of us, when we read the story of Akaluka, we will be shouting, oh, Akaluka, yay! They put the head on a this thing. But now in our own backyard, people who allegedly speak our language engage in such barbarism, and you are not outraged, then I ask you, my brother, where is your conscience? We must get to the bottom of it, anyone and those behind this barbarism. This is nothing. There is no sugarcoating, there is no nothing, that this is barbarism. You know what it means? When we read the history book about the Nigerian Biafran War, people are outraged. And why did people get angry to fight even when they had no weapon? Because train will come from Benue, from Makodi, down to Enugu with dead bodies and with, pregnant women that have their tummies cut open and the babies brought out, ensuring that the mother and the child die. If we felt outraged when that happened, my brothers and my sisters, we must also feel outraged now. Every life matters. Every single life. I keep telling us on this platform, if you cut Mazi open, cut me open. Water is not going to come out. It's blood. And the blood that comes out of me could be used to save an Englishman, a German, a Fulani man, a Gwari man, a Yoruba man, an Igbo man, an Ikwere man, anybody on earth, as long as the blood matches. We are the we are the children of the same God, the creator, the Chukwu Okike, the Alpha and Omega that lives on the above. He created all of us without exception. And to crown it all, the Bible says he created all of us in his own image and likeness. Then I ask, if God ever created us in his own image and likeness, how come this level of barbarism would ever cross our minds? Who are those behind us? What are their missions? Daily Trust wrote something, giving it ethnic connotation. This evening, I believe if we go to njenjemedia.com, we published a statement by Professor Chukwuma Soludo, who shunned Daily Trust to desist from such publications because, in the words of Soludo, that those were not, and they are trying only to incite ethnic tension in the country. Let me read to us some of the words, and then I can share the link. You can go to njenjemedia.com and now read the rest. Please, if you're joining me for the first time, endeavor to subscribe and like this stream, so that whenever I come online, you should be able. So you can see the link now on the comment section. This is what Professor Chukwuma Soludo said. He says here. Now, this was the report by the report by Daily Trust. Their newspaper this morning says IPOB kills women, 4 kids, 6 others, 6 other northerners in Anambra State. Now, but Professor Chukwuma Soludo said the Anambra State Governor Soludo has denied reports that religious killing targeted at northerners have been happening silently in the state in the Nigerian's report. The governor also warned an Abuja-based newspaper, Daily Trust, against inciting violence in the country. Soludo was reacting to a lead story by the media outfit where it reported that coordinated killings targeted at northerners have been going on in Anambra State. Now, and here I align my thinking and I align myself with Soludo here. And these are my reasons. The reason why we are in this mess is when we begin to ethnicize conflict or crime. The Honorable House of Assembly member that was killed and his aide, they were not far from home. The lady soldier that was killed and her head severed from her body, that many people, and I laugh sometimes, called names, tried twisting fact that it never happened, that invitation happened this and that, but finally we've been able to interview the family. And you cannot deny people their pain. They have lost a loved one. And you can't now say, oh, it didn't happen. Then one will begin to ask, where is our humanity? If we then say that something like this never happened, in that case, it did. That person, the lady in question, Gloria, she was Igbo. All the lives, all the killing that has happened in Anambra State, most times between now, nobody, for instance, nobody in Anambra State, all the old rackety cars that are being, cars that are now sometimes left in the mechanic for years, they're all being bought up because everybody is now going. No one drives any normal car. Everybody now wants to disguise and drive 406, 504 keke. I mean, myself, I use, everybody enters keke now. Why? Just as a means of staying alive. Because what? Because we have madness happening in our backyard. I want to play us a video when a friend, Osita Chidoka, was warning about this impending danger. Osita Chidoka did warn that this was going to get to this point. But, as usual, like many of us, he was called a collector. But then, you will know that which an elder sees while sitting down, sometimes the younger ones won't see it, even if one day climb the Iroko tree. Last year, Osita was delivering a lecture at the platform in Lagos, Igomu, Relay Igomu, Lagos, and he had the following to say.
Those who are orchestrating the violence, especially the famous unknown gunmen in the East, I want to sound a note of caution. You can start it, or you can't end it. The East is a very entrepreneurial place. In 1966, there were no retired officers of the Nigerian Army as we have today, no retired policemen. Violence will start and cannot be stopped. No group can control it if we destroy the facility of state. Breakaway groups will happen. People will take to the arms themselves. Kidnapping will rise. Criminality will rise. And no group can control it without the function of the state. Our road to Syria is already paved with the mismanagement of our diversity.
And I pray that the souls of those killed senselessly in Anambra State and up on other parts of Nigeria, that their souls rest in peace. Amen. As you've listened to Osita Chidoka, Ikobosin, the message was very clear. It appears he was a prophet. Like I told many of you, maybe some of you are listening to me now. Like I did warn, January 2021. I did one, and I said it in Igbo. Ọ bụghị ikunye enwe mmiri bụ isiokwu na onye na-ati ya iko. The problem is not giving the monkey water with a glass cup, but the challenge is extracting that cup from the monkey. I won't go beyond that. The only thing I can say, and I can say to us, is that people, we must rise and reclaim our land. Whoever these people are, we must come together as a people and say no to this level of barbarism and madness. We cannot allow our place to be a place where our heads can be severed from our bodies and be hung on the roadside. As Osita Chidoka said, we are heading on the road to Syria. May that not be our portion. I know those of us who are Christian, some of you will be shouting now, amen, amen, amen. May that not be our portion. Beyond rhetoric, we must do everything possible to stop this descent to anarchy. We are not talking about, because the monster that is bewildering the Southeast is a multi-level. The next thing, yesterday, I saw from, who was it called again? Joey Bokwe, where he tweeted, or rather where he made a Facebook comment saying that there should be a declaration of what's it called again, state of emergency in the Southeast. And I'm like, wow. So it has gotten to the point where the Southeast, that we will be talking and even giving it a thought to discuss the state of emergency within the Southeast. That is unbelievable, and that is a tragedy. What and who are behind this? Is it a ploy to remove Governor Soludo to drag you down? And some inadvertently might be aiding and abetting that without knowing it. Is it? I saw a video today that also made me, and I said I will play this to us so that we also would understand where we are headed. This is part of Bono, where when army moved in, and this is what the army did. I pray that, we are able to come together as a people and stop the current descent to anarchy, that we would never, ever get to this level where it will now become, I pray that, the army will never have anything to do within the civilian space. Now, this is where they say insurgents run into. This is military tank, and this is Bono. Imagine this scenario in a street in Owerri. Imagine this scenario in a street in Oka. Imagine this scenario in a street in Enugu, where the army will just open fire like this. Because these men are only trained to do one thing. They are nothing but killing machines. The type of firepower they have, you cannot match them. You may call all of us, the usual name you wish to choose to call all of us, cowards, whatever you say. But I refuse to be a coward in the face of imminent danger that is about to befall us. We lose every single person in the Southeast every single Monday loses an average of 5,000 naira. If you do 5,000 by 52, gives you about 260,000. You do that by 1 year, it gives you about 780 million. If you do that by 1 year and by 3 million healthy working population, let's take Anambra State for example, 5.6 million, but let's say that 3 million young, vibrant daily earning, and we have about 780 billion that we lose because some of us have decided to hurt ourselves. You cannot go to a meeting and you have an argument with someone else and the disagreement with someone else. You go home, you lock your family, and you start banging your head against the wall, thinking that the moment, and as you continue to do that, the person in the meeting arena will be taking the pain. If insanity is not defined, I do not know what that is. It hurts. We are a people that build. We are not destroyers. If we have strangers in our midst doing this to destroy us, we must work together as a people to ensure that these strangers are taken out. But it will be an aberration that we will, in any way, shape, or form, work with strangers to destroy the homeland. I was talking with someone yesterday. Many of you may know him, but I won't mention his name. He said over the weekend, he said to me that Anambra State na toka sugar. The person lives in Abuja. He says, Anambra State na toka sugar. That is the Anambra State that is as sweet as honey. That no one dares go home. And you ask yourself, to what end? If enemies are destroying us, then why must you aid them to destroy you? Are you normal? Like Osita Chidoka said in that video, it may get to a point when people will turn into militias. I've read and I have seen people openly demanding for a return of Bakassi. When Bakassi returns, who do you think they will fight? That will be guerrilla. A brother will be killing his own brother. Ideological killing. Bakassi will become a virus being injected into the body to become as an antibody to fight another virus. Why and how on earth do we want to get to that level? Please, people, I keep telling us, when emotion takes over critical thinking, the consequences is always there. Yes, of course, many would argue, even here on this comment section, why is it that this thing happened here, this person happened here, this person, when they kill this one? Listen, when someone dies, irrespective of who killed the individual, there must be punishment. Sadly, the Nigerian state has failed in punishing those who are committing crime. Yesterday in Ebonyi, for instance, it was reported that a man from Lokbanta, I think Lokbanta is a community in Abia State, but in part of Ebonyi, he was a farmer, he was macheted, You know, you can see the body almost, his hands was almost falling off. And that was done by the headsmen. I call them the terror headsmen. Now, when that happened, many people were, you know, I am outraged. I am disappointed. I am outraged that a fellow human being would do this to another. I am outraged. But my problem here is, and that's where many people will disagree with me. My problem here is, it is inhumane to be outraged that that happened, but not to be outraged that a pregnant woman with 4 children was shot down. And both of them, the whole family from A to Z, wiped out. It would be inhumane to be outraged that somebody was macheted. However, the problem, and that's where states fail, that gives this ethnic connotation is, I do not bloody care who is involved in these crimes. We must demand one thing: consequences. Is the individual a header who invades farmland, destroying things, engaging in rape, punishment? Is the individual ungun man engaged in sporadic shooting, killing, maiming people, punishment? Until we get to that state where crimes cannot be rewarded, crimes or crime perpetrators cannot be clapped for and cheered as heroes. No, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. Even, you know, if I sleep tonight and I do not wake up, I want history to remember me that this injustice against whoever is condemned. No one deserves to die in that manner. No one deserves his head to be, to be severed. No one deserves, a woman, you tie her hands and she was just naked after raping her, using knife to cut her head, and eventually people were denying it. Sometimes, please, my brothers, I ask us, rather than make some nasty comments online, sometimes can we take a step backwards? The things we begin to defend these days, it sends shiver to my spine. And I'm like, I conclude with the following and to say, once more, may those who died in the senseless killings, be that in the north, be that in the you can see that. And some of us, sometimes when we say, this thing happened here, what did Nigerian soldiers do in the north? I say, listen. The north, especially northwest and northeast, they have the misfortune of not having enough people with telephone and data. What the Nigerian army and the security agents are doing there, if 50% of it happens in the south, if 50% of it happens in the south, there are videos that sometimes we receive. Man, so tragic and terrible. You can never push something like that out. What for? But I do not blame some of us who are, who may not be so privileged in getting some of these images and videos to just sit, oh, nothing, yeah, this happens there, nobody does anything. I'm like, nah, you don't know what is happening. You don't know what is happening. Just like this here, just because I played it because there was no shedding of blood there, but you can imagine where someone gets an APC like this, someone gets an armored personnel carrier like this, a tank, opens fire. Listen to this again. Imagine this in the street of Oka. Imagine this in the streets of Enugu. Imagine this in the streets of Owerri. We must do everything not to bring this home, because this is going to be so devastating. And I stand here to condemn Joe Ibokwe, to say the call for the declaration of state of emergency in Anambra State is condemned by myself. The level of security, I believe that if we put our, if we put our eyes on the ground, we should be able to solve these things if we are sincere. Caveat here, and written in capital letter, if we are sincere in solving this. If we are sincere as a people, we must begin to save what is happening. If we have foreigners perpetrating this act, we owe it a duty to the fatherland to begin to look into it. If we have our brothers and our sisters involving in this, we owe it a greater duty to remove the monkey hand from the soup before it turns into a human hand. To the point of cannibalism that the videos many of you have seen. If you haven't seen the video, I think what we might even do, we'll tell a staff member what they will do is either this evening or tomorrow, they will publish the interview granted in Igbo, the mother or the family members of Gloria, that is the army officer that was killed. And many people were denying it. May our death not be denied. Now I will conclude with the following, people. That takes me to Abia State. Abia. Ikpeazu. Some of you have translated Ikpeazu to be the last one. If I didn't see the video protest and the interview, I would never believe that something like this is happening in the Southeast, whereas in something that is in our Sokoto, we are not outraged, but we are outraged in what is happening in Sokoto. A governor in the Southeast has not paid salaries for 12 freaking months. 12 months. Someone will be coming to work. Someone would, pay transport, come to work at the end of the month. He goes home. You didn't pay him. Second month, he comes to work. You didn't pay him. Third month, he goes to work. He couldn't pay him. Now, wow. So, how then, where is then the conscience? To the point that they then have to then begin to protest in the streets of Abia. You see, they have not been paid their salaries to the tune of 12 months. Let that sink in. 12. 1 year, someone has been working and you've never paid that.
Before now, I'm not one down, even 1 month. And I also get that through the state government for negotiation. But to Abia State, it has become a tradition that now can run on a hospital's management board in particular. And when you go to Abia State, when I'm the hospital's management board, I know what about 1 month.
Hospital management board have not been paid. It does my head. You know what it means, people? You're working 12 months you have not been paid and you have a sitting governor and there is no outrage.
Before we get to Prano to one, Yarikina to Bronketa. Open that up because of the Omega that you would that no one was Robolia. And it is our civic right that honorable Ejuko or an aggrieved person in Nigeria has the right to protest. I'm the EMP to HMP. And who told them to HMP? On the mama, one up windows and up one all of a sudden, and up one over. I'll go every month. What they come and what they come for, I could eat it on over. 5 months, so I will land your soup. And I get while I could begin.
I mean, it is, every person of conscience must condemn this. And I call on Ikpeazu, the governor of Abia State, to please, please, please pay these people their salary. Pay them their salary as a worker deserves, his or her wages. It is abnormal and it is not acceptable that somebody will labor and work and work and work, yet you cannot pay that individual salary. Again, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. But listen, people, I will leave us with this. Reading the comments here, someone asked, that's Marshallino says, why are these killers not being arrested and not brought to court? I can tell you, I do not know about not being brought to court, but I can tell you that they do arrest them. At least today, there was a video of one of them that was arrested. They are being called a non-gunman, but now this gunman is known. And what I will do is, I will just play the police interrogation video. Make of the video whatever you want, but hey, that is what it is. I'll just play the video for us. For me, it's these things must stop. Now, I don't. Where is the? Yeah, I mean, crime everywhere. Look, there was this group of people kidnapped. Was it Uturu or something?
Ndị a he kidnap lekwe nwaanyị a chei Chineke chei he kidnap na ele ebe a na-akpọ ihe asef ọlọkpa nta ụzọ ọkaigwe lele nwoke a lele ya lekwe nwatakịrị e butere chei Chineke oke ihe si leke butere onye chei lele otu ọ na-achị since 1 week can 1 week eburu ni mmadụ nwa mmadụ 1 week every money appear me every chai had 12 men every man appear me asin wete ego chai na ona me wete 10 million 50 million na ga arapu m chai n'ime village m ka ebu mo echi m Port Harcourt na be na my village chai rute na village m ha vuru m tinanji flash
Now that was a story of now what you just watched before was a kidnap rescue from the killer headsmen. I call them killer headsmen, but thank God they were rescued. You can see, the story there. Even when the conversation happened in Igbo, they were kidnapped at Lokbanta. If you're coming from Enugu before Kigwe, you see that there. And that's the reason why I play that is it brings to it brings to the fore what I said before. whether that crime is done by an Igbo person, whether it's done by Yoruba, whether it's done by Fulani, whether it's done by Kenuri, what must happen is that the perpetrators must be, because it makes no difference if you were kidnapped by an Igbo person or a Yoruba person, or you were kidnapped by Fulani, it is still kidnapped. So if we drop the ethnic correlation and identity to it and deal with the crime, I sincerely believe that we will be making a headway, because these crimes should not happen. A friend was kidnapped 2 months ago. He lives in Uyo. He was going down to Anambra State and he wanted to use Isuochi, veering off the Port Harcourt Enugu to go through Isuochi. And he was, stopped by the terror headsmen, I call them, terror headsmen. And they kidnapped him in their gang. In the gang of the terror headsmen, listen, they had one guy who spoke Igbo. They had one Fulani. They had 3 Fulanis, and they had one Yoruba. One Igbo, one Yoruba, 3 Fulanis. You see where the profiling comes in here. Does it matter if 1 is Igbo, if 3 is Fulani, if 1 is Yoruba? What matters is the crime and the punishment thereof. And that is what should get us engaged. How do we tackle this crime, and how do we do away with these crimes? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Hold on, what's happening here? Faye, thank you. Igbos believe they are discriminated, yet they have less poverty, make more money, have more proportional representation in the civil service than any ethnic group. People should look at facts. I would want to engage you on this topic, not maybe a different day, because I am rounding up now. Is not, your comments, Faye. Once more, thank you for the super chat, but your comment is not entirely factual, but mostly factual, right? I would want to engage you on a different date on this, but let's, as we say, okay? On that note, I'll say thank you. Just watch the video of one of the captured unknown gunmen. And like I said, make of it whatever you want. On that note, I leave you and I say good night. Remember, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means do. And please like and share. I am still Mazi. Is it okay? So let me bring us in now. Bye for now.
To carry guns dey inside bush, person they send you. That person where they send you, where in children? Where your own children dey? If they say you carry gun, they go inside bush, they go, they kill people, they burn them. Where your own children?
What be your name? Chinaza.
Where Akatakpo? Who be Akatakpo? Now all of you. You know Akatakpo? You know him? Where in there?
I don't know the
You know your house. You know Akatakpo house. Which side the house there? Huh? Mesama there. Na Akatakpo house. Okay, you see a member? Yes. Oh, yeah, let's go.
Why you involve yourself inside these activities? Tell me now. Tell me why you involve yourself inside this thing. Yes? Your friend who? Hey! Come on, hey! Your friend who? Chetachi. Okay, Chetachi introduced you into this thing.
Yes.
And
since then, now you go point the heat, carry his fire, put it on.
Since then, I never followed them go. My wife born new baby.
Your
wife born new baby. Since then, I never followed them go.
Okay, your wife born new baby, so born new child. So you know they camp with them for now. Okay, but that he lost where they born last week for those side. Who born now? Which your boss? Who be the boss? Now make some my born now. That on Sunday when
the bullets on Monday.
Oh, that on Monday last week. So now make some man I am born now. Okay, you can't lie. Okay.
What are the bullets I carry for the motor? Who carry them?
That bullet for the motor. Who
you cannot follow them that day. Who them born the motor? You don't follow them. But they follow them, they go before now.
You saying they go